I did Zone 2 cardio for 30 days and the results were shocking. Hi, I'm Casey and I am currently on a weight loss journey. I've lost 120 pounds so far with the help of bariatric surgery, and I've kind of been in a stall for a while. I don't even think you can call it a stall anymore. It's just my baseline. So I'm still trying to lose 20 pounds and I've been stuck for a good year. So I decided to challenge myself by adding Zone 2 cardio to my workouts. I did 30 minutes of Zone 2 cardio 5 days a week. I did 4 days of lifting. I did an additional day of just treadmill work, again in Zone 2 cardio. If you don't know what Zone 2 cardio is, what they call the fat burning zone. So what you do to try to find your Zone 2 cardio is you take 220, subtract your age, and then you multiply that number by either 0.6 or 0.7, because Zone 2 cardio is 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. A lot of runners like to implement Zone 2 cardio into their runs to help improve their pace time for their longer runs, but I wanted to see if it helped with a little bit of weight loss or even just dropping some inches. After the 30 days was up, I was honestly very surprised by the results, but not at all disappointed. As far as my weight goes, I actually lost 0 pounds. And I kind of thought that would be the case just because this last 20 pounds has been very difficult to lose. And for those I know in the comments are going to be like, well, you weren't in a calorie deficit. I tracked every little thing that I put into my mouth, even my vitamins and the little drink packets that you put in your water. So according to every calculator, I put my info in. I even put all my info in ChatGPT just to see, and they all lined up to be about somewhere between 1,500 and 1,600 calories was my calorie deficit for my activity level. I was lifting 4 times a week. I was getting 10,000 steps in at least 5 times a week, sometimes more. The weekends were kind of up in the air. I was definitely in a calorie deficit. My inches were a little surprising. I kind of thought I would lose more inches, maybe not so much more weight, because a lot of the time I was walking at an incline. I lost about a half an inch in my waist, but I gained an entire inch in my thighs, which that was the most surprising. I wasn't really expecting to lose inches on my thighs, but I definitely didn't think I would gain that much, and it kind of makes me wonder if I might have measured wrong before I started the challenge. But either way, I'm not really disappointed in any of that. Some of the results I had maybe weren't necessarily physical. Well, I guess it'd be considered physical. The biggest thing I noticed was a change in my stamina and my endurance. The first time I did the Zone 2 cardio was just, I could just hit that Zone 2 at just a flat incline, 3 speed, and within a couple of minutes I was already at Zone 2. So the next day I had to work a little harder to get up to the Zone 2. So I ended up bumping up the incline of the treadmill to, I think, a level 3. And then the next day I'd have to bump it up to a level 5. And then I ended up getting a weighted vest. And so I used that and kind of started that process over. So I was able to do just a 0 incline with the weighted vest. And again, as time went on, it was getting a little harder and harder just to get up to Zone 2. So that was kind of neat, seeing the improvement in my endurance. And I know the watch isn't like the best judge, but it's the best judge I had. I've seen videos where like it was better to use this arm monitor. I saw one guy, after I did the challenge, I was kind of watching to see what other people, if they had different results, and the guy said he used the armband, which monitored his heart rate a lot better. So that was the biggest difference I saw with doing Zone 2. I will say by like week 3, my hip was bothering me quite a bit, which is a totally different issue that I probably need to have looked at. So I did take it easy on week 3, which really made me just kind of extend this whole challenge an additional week, because I really wanted wanted to get the benefit of doing like a full 30 days. So I will say, even with the results, they were kind of shocking, but again, I was not disappointed. I wanted to document this to show people that it does take a lot longer than 30 days to see big results. I mean, the fact that I lost about a half an inch just in my waist, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. If you want to see like real results, I would think 90 days would be where you start seeing some really good results. Is this a challenge I'm going to keep doing? Probably not, just because of the hip issue. It does get agitated and irritated pretty easily. I'm still going to be doing at least 10,000 steps because we're doing a steps challenge at work, so I definitely want to keep walking. I'm just not going to pay close attention to where my heart rate is. I'm just going to make sure I get my steps. So that actually leads me to my next challenge, which is a little scary for me. I've been in a calorie deficit for I don't know how long. I had weight loss surgery 2 years ago. I would say I've been in a deficit consistently for at least 2 years. I've had a few days, here and there where I haven't tracked too closely of what I'm eating. So I know there's been days where I've like splurged and have eaten a lot of junk, obviously, especially through the holidays. But my next challenge that I'm going to be doing for the next 8 weeks will be eating at my maintenance level. From what I have researched, being in a calorie deficit for really longer than 6 months kind of wrecks your metabolism. You kind of get into this phase of, I think, what they call like metabolic adaptation, where your body basically has gotten so used to having so few calories that it makes it where you aren't burning very many calories. So to help reverse that, you want to do a reverse diet. And so for the next 8 weeks, I'm going to reverse basically into my maintenance calories, which again, from every calculator I have looked into and put my stats in, everything says that my maintenance calories are around 1900 to 2100 calories a day with my activity level. Like I said, I'm very active. I get 10,000 steps in most days. I'm lifting consistently 4 days a week. I'm gonna probably stick around the 1900 calorie range. If I go over just a little bit, I'll be fine. I actually am probably gonna be a lot more strict even on the weekends, just because I don't want to overeat. It actually is kind of hard for me to overeat. There's been a few days where I've tried to hit like 2000 calories, and when you're eating healthy whole foods, that's actually very hard. At least for me. I know like with my stomach, chicken and eggs are very hard to eat. For me, they sit very heavy on my stomach. Ground beef is fine. Really any kind of ground meat, I guess because it's, smaller. But with me eating at maintenance, I will also be trying to lift a lot heavier than what I am used to. Because for the past 2 years, being in a deficit, my energy level has been very low and I'm not progressing in the gym like I would like. I've been stuck at lifting the same weights for months and I would like to up that. With being able to eat more, hopefully I'll be able to progressively overload with my lifting and be able to lift a lot heavier than what I've been doing. That's where the inches are going to start to shrink. I know, obviously you can tell by my pictures, I have a lot in my midsection I'm trying to get rid of. I know my arms need a little more shaping, obviously my legs, just whole body. So the only way to do that is by strength training. I will still be doing a little bit of light cardio after my workouts, probably just 10 minutes on the treadmill, whatever helps me get to my 10,000 steps, because I certainly want to keep my cardio up, just for heart health. But that is what I'm going to be doing for my next challenge, my next 8 weeks. I'm turning a certain age within the next 8 weeks, and I would like to be the healthiest version of myself by the time I turn this certain age. I know I only look like I'm 22 years old, but bear with me, I'm a lot older than that. I don't want to give my age just yet because it makes me cry just thinking about it, but it's an important age, it's a big age, and I just want to look good and I want to feel good by the time I hit this certain age. So if you're interested in following along for this next phase and my next challenge of trying to get stronger, build more muscle, lose fat while eating at maintenance, like and subscribe. I'm excited for you to join me on this journey to try to lose at least the last 20 pounds. I may gain weight during the maintenance phase. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm not eating in a surplus. Again, I'm just going off of what these calculators are saying. Even if I do gain weight, I don't hate the number on the scale. I'd like to be a lot more lean and muscular. And again, the only way to do that is to lift weights, lift heavy. If that's something you're interested in following along, just like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next video. Bye.